Transforming an outdated bathroom into our dream kitchen has been months in the making, with loads of DIY projects and lots of patience. This week we are finally finishing our cabinet doors and installing our oven, and really getting to see my vision come to life. Hello guys, welcome back to the cottage. We have come a long way, like truly. This used to be a bathroom, so I think that, we've made major improvements. It was a very weird bathroom too. I'm remembering what it looked like now, and it was very weird. It was very long, very tall. It took a lot, from pulling up the flooring that was on top of the wood to patching the wood flooring. 2 episodes ago, you saw that I finished the flooring. They're beautiful, we sealed them, they're ready to go. To all of the DIY projects that came after that. We DIY'd our island using salvage material from our front porch for the legs, which is absolutely beautiful. We handpicked our granite and soapstone that's in the kitchen. I have made all of our cabinet boxes from scratch and painted them. We installed our fridge ourselves, put the doors on and the hardware. Last episode you saw that we did the little feet, on the cabinets, because I just wanted it to look like a piece of furniture. So, it added a little bit of a detail down at the toe kick on the bottom of the cabinets. So we are ready for this week. It's been a long time coming. We are finishing all of the cabinet doors this week. So over the next few days, I am going to be diving in and making 42 cabinet fronts. Now our fridge is already done. This is exactly what the cabinet doors will look like throughout the kitchen. It's a shaker style door that I designed, and I added a piece of trim to the inside because I wanted them to look a little more like they fit the house, a little more cottagey, a little more, if you will. So this is exactly what they will look like. Along the back wall and the perimeter of the kitchen, it will all be painted in pashmina. And then on the island, the cabinet doors and the drawer fronts will be painted black, because we actually painted our island black to give a kind of a nice contrast. I didn't want the kitchen to be all one color. And yes, our plumber is coming. He is going to be installing our beautiful, yet a mistake of an oven. We can finally cook in this kitchen. It's taken a long time to get here, but we're finally here. For our cabinet fronts, I've gotten a lot better at understanding how they attach, so I know how they're going to fit together side by side. Cabinet fronts for the drawers versus cabinet fronts for doors. And a big thing that I've run into is I've realized that the hinges for the cabinet doors only overlap the face frame ½ inch. So that means that from the face frame, the door itself is only gonna go ½ inch past the opening. So that kind of threw off my other measurements for the ones that sat next to it, if they were drawers and such. So very first thing that I'm gonna do is, now with my extra knowledge of all of this, I'm gonna go back through, starting on the bottom, doing the tops, all of the cabinet fronts that I still need, and doing another set of measurements. I've already started. I basically just draw out my cabinet holes and measure exactly the height and the width of each door. And then from there, I can determine what I'm going to be cutting. Okay, now that I have all of my measurements, I went through and I numbered each of them. So starting here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so that I know where they're going to go later. So when we go through painting stages and stuff, it's just super organized. It's basically like a guide to where these doors go. And now a little hack is the way that I do cabinet doors. There's side pieces here, there's bottom and top pieces, and then there's the center. Side pieces are the full height of your cabinet. So for instance, this guy right here is going to be 8 inches high, so this way, by 25 inches wide. That's how wide the cabinet front needs to finish at. So my pieces that I need are 2 pieces at 8 inches, so the height will always be the same. Those are the full measurements, so 8 inches. And then the center sits inside. So the sides come down all the way to the bottom of the cabinet, and then the bottom sits inside that measurement. So we have to take off the width of these side measurements. So we take off 5.5 inches for every front. So I just went down every measurement for every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way through 32 that we're doing right now. And once you do figure it out and you plan them all out like this, it's like a no-brainer. You don't have to think about it every time you want to make a new cabinet. You've kind of just figured out all of the math up front and you're ready to go. So over the next 3 days, I took my measurements and we built 42 cabinet fronts. So the first day was really about cutting all of the pieces and routering them all. And that took me a good solid day. And I got 3 cabinet fronts set that night. The tricky part is that I need to let them set about 30 minutes with clamps, and I'm limited on the number of clamps that I've invested in, but it's taking a little bit longer, but I think we're gonna be able to do it in the next couple of days. So the next day, I dove into cutting all of the 3-inch sides of the cabinet. So we're kind of creating a frame, if you will, for the cabinet door. And then there's a piece of 1/4-inch plywood that goes in the center. Day 2 was a big day because I got over half of the cabinet doors cut and glued together, ready to go into kind of the trimming stage where we sand them down, we fill any holes, and also add the little trim inset so we can make it a little more designed. Day 3, I continued to work on the other half of the cabinets that I needed to get done that just needed 1/4-inch plywood, and also started working on the cabinets that actually needed glass. These were routed a little differently as we're going to be dropping the glass in after we assemble and also paint these pieces. I bought a canopy to build our paint station. Okay, so I ordered these inexpensive hangers off Amazon to do this project. But the only I've used them once to actually paint inside because it just helps if you can hang the cabinet doors when you're painting. Otherwise, you have to spray them laying down and you have to wait for one side to dry before you flip it over. But if you hang it, you can do both sides and it speeds up the process. These were really inexpensive. The only problem is when there's weight added, it kind of stretches down, which it still works. I mean, they're not gonna break, they're wire, so it's fine. Would I rather them stay like straight? Yes, but it's fine. So how we're gonna hang them is with cup hooks. And I bought some small ones, little cup things, and we can screw those into the bottom of the cabinet doors and then hang them. So I'm gonna do them kind of in the center. And we're gonna do 2 per door. Then we're gonna use the hanger, or slip it on like that, and hang it up. See, it bends, but it still works. This is number 29, and as soon as I paint the primer on it, I'm gonna lose the number. So I was thinking maybe I could use like some tape. Like, what if I hope I don't paint the tape, but odds are I could still probably see it. But if I just kind of like wrap some blue tape like that, and then with a Sharpie write the number on it. I'll write it on both sides just to be safe. Then we're gonna bring it over here and hang it up. I think that's gonna work well for me.
Let's meet down at the lonely lake before summer has gone away. Swim out under a broken sky. Cold sun, colored with shades of white. Wave goodbye to last summer. Cold air coming falling moon. Tell me something about yourself. You've never told to no one else. Say goodbye to lonely nights last summer.
75% of them dry overnight, and I just had a little bit to do on more cabinets. So now the second batch is primed. This is all dry overnight. So we're gonna go over them with a light sand just to get that smooth finish. I feel like even if you don't do the sanding in between the two coats of like finishing paint that the color that you picked, this would be the only time that I would say that you should do a light sand, because the primer can make the wood kind of like not bubble up, but it makes it rough again. So it won't be as smooth as when we sanded it before we painted. So if you're gonna only do it once, or you're gonna opt to do it once, do it now after the primer. I have a 220 grit. I'm just gonna sand these lightly, like it's gonna take 10 seconds per thing, literally.
Teach me how you fly so free.
Started to get a little worried that that tent might collapse, so my tree's helping me out. We're just gonna hang some over here too, so they can dry.
Teach me how you fly so free.
Oh my gosh, I've sanded, I've put a second coat. I'm not gonna leave them out here. I'm actually gonna bring them inside to let the second coat dry, because I just did the second coat really on the front. I feel like the back didn't really need it. I feel accomplished, but after 5 full days of doing this, I had to lay down. My back gave out about an hour ago. I had to lay down flat. My mom goes, just like rest for like 30 minutes. This was a very long process, very tedious process. 42 cabinet doors. Let's hope all these measurements are right and they go in really well, because this was a lot of work. But I am really proud. So I'm bringing them all inside now. watch, I did all that and I did the spacing.
No. That would be
Can
miserable.
you imagine?
Alright, I'm gonna go up there and let me see real quick. Oh, that's going good.
Yeah, it's pulling the slack, yeah.
Wow. Alright.
That
We
is
will
incredible.
definitely get some gas going here in a sec. Let's take all this off.
Shut up! You're like the best thing that ever lived. We can cook! That's even a pretty flame.
Yes, it is.
Isn't that a weird flame?
Yes, I love it. It's beautiful. We are burning. Nice.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
freaking much.
You're welcome.
Guys, I am obsessed. The oven is in. There's some things that he did his part, right? Like everything. I need to now literally understand how to use it because it is in code. I feel like there are like symbols and things. And I also want to read, there's nothing in the handbook about like making it a little taller. I know that you can, I can't quite figure it out. So I'm gonna put it in position height-wise and then put the anti-tip bracket in the back and then it's gonna be secure. And then this is gonna go back here. It's not pushed all the way back right now, but this is gonna go here, which is really pretty. Yay, okay. Since the island only has 3, 4, 5, 6 cabinets, I didn't really want to put the black paint through the paint sprayer when I was doing so much light kind of work with the crown molding and all the other cabinet doors and things. So I'm just gonna hand paint them like I did the refrigerator. And then these will be ready. But I did accidentally paint one pashmina. I mean, we all knew that that would happen, right? I mean, as thorough as my number letter system was, it was bound to happen. Hopefully that's the only mistake. That's fixable. Later, I don't know, I think at some point all of the days started to blur together and I don't really know how long. It took me about a week to do all of these cabinet doors from start to finish. And 42 cabinet doors later, and 45 if you count the ones for the refrigerator, they are all done. And I spent last night doing some of the hinge work. So like this. See how there's hinges on the back of them now? Some of them. I just did some. We have to do the rest today, and we can start installing the cabinet doors and also the drawer fronts. They're the same, just the drawers don't get hinges. They get attached to the drawers. We also have to build some drawer inserts. Things are happening today. So here is number 37P. I just looked at my map and that is the top cabinets over here on the side. This is a completely finished glass ready cabinet front. And I just take off the little cup hooks. So the first thing that I do is put the hinges. So this is that door right there and it opens this way. So the hinges are gonna go on this side. And at the hardware store, they sell hinges in a couple of different forms. I particularly have face frame cabinets. So these are 1/2-inch overlay face frame hinges. And they're about $50 a bag of 10. So that'll give you 5 cabinets because you do 2 hinges per cabinet. And I also bought a kit. It comes with a little template like this, so that you can actually mark where the hinge needs to be on the cabinet. And then it comes with the whole bit. So I've been placing the template 3 inches down from the top and 3 inches up from the bottom. That's, for me, has been a good placement. And then mark the center because there's a hole in the template. Put the drill bit in here. Now this makes kind of like pencil shavings. That's what it looks like. Yeah, they kind of look like pencil shavings. Then once you have your holes, then you can set your hinges down in the hole. They'll fit perfectly without any resistance, and you can screw them in with the screws that come with the hinge pack. So even before I had put these together, I wanted to make sure that I got the glass on order because it takes a few days for the company that I get it from to cut all the glass. So I went through my list, my master plan. I wrote down the number of the cabinet that got glass and its dimensions, and then figured out what the measurement was inside of the frame so that I could get the glass cut. So then this was my order. It cost me $179.84 for the glass, and I ordered 11 pieces. This is just 1/8 inch glass. I did think about getting rated glass with the ridges, but I'm glad I didn't. I talked to my mom about it, and she was like, she might get tired of it over time, and this glass is just classic. It's up high, rated, you won't be able to see what's inside the cabinets. I think we did good, and this was cheaper, so we went with that. So to install the glass, I'm using silicone. It comes in like a caulking tube, like you see me use a lot. It's clear. Silicone, the clearest one you can, just so you don't even see it. So first we're gonna put a layer of silicone around the edge before we put the glass in. This will give the glass some adherence underneath, and it really attach it to the front of the framing that we have for it. And I'm not using a ton, but I do want it to make sure that it's like touching the glass. Now we're gonna lay this glass in there, making sure that it's touching the silicone. But we're also gonna go back over the top of it with another layer. I'm just gonna go right over the top, making sure to get the edge. I'm gonna set this one aside, and we're gonna let this one dry. There's just a few that I need to let dry overnight so we can install those tomorrow. But I have some that I've already done that are already dry, like this one. So you can see the glass is in, it is good. Got shavings everywhere. Now we need to trim it out so that it actually looks like the other cabinet. So I will link the video for you guys where I actually designed all of my cabinet doors and showed you exactly how I built them. If you can see this trim piece I added on top of the plywood because I just felt like it added more style to the shaker cabinet, and it looked a little more like it fit the house. And this was just a ready-made trim that I picked up at the hardware store. So we need to make the glass versions have this trim too. The only way that I can think of doing that is to glue it directly to the glass. Last night I painted some trim pieces in the same pashmina color. Contact adhesive, it's crystal clear, it's clear grip, holds in seconds, so that's good so I can hold it for a little bit, get it to adhere, and then move on because I'm not able to use nails like I did on the others. Bonds metal, glass, fabric, wood, ceramic, leather, paper, rubber, plastic, all the things. I also have this tool. I saw Drew and somebody else, I can't remember who else, use this thing. It's a cutter, wood cutter for small trim pieces, quarter round, things like this. So for forever, I would just use my saw to cut things like this. And I would find that I would kind of mess some up because it's just too strong. It's too small of a piece of wood for too strong of a saw. So it has these guides on it that you can actually see and cut at a 45-degree angle, 90, cut it straight, or 120. But it's actually so easy. You just put it in there, line it up with the center line, chomp down. Look at that, 45-degree angle. Look at that. Instead of using a measurement, I actually like to lay it down on top of the cabinet and mark it exactly where I need to cut it. I'll mark it there. Take my little cutter and cut it the opposite way to make a corner. Like that. And then I'll get all my pieces cut and then we can glue them down. So that's how we do all of the cabinet doors. Now the drawers, I have tested one row. This row of the kitchen cabinets are done. first set of drawers. These are the knobs. I was about to drill the hole here because this is so skinny. So
yeah, can you get your fingers in there?
not really. To do them all on the top, here, here, and here. Or do the tops all at the top and then do everything underneath in the middle.
Either way, you can do.
And these are decisions we have to make. And I'm fried. It's like I kind of like it in the middle when there's more space.
Yes.
You know, because that's kind of high. It's still fine, but...
What do you think,
I
honey?
kind of like it in the middle.
And do it in the middle.
So here is our first row with the hardware, everything on it. Drawers are in and they are soft close, so you kind of get it right, right up to it and it closes by itself. I love them. I feel like the drawers are on a larger scale. I feel like maybe I went a little too large up here at the top because it's only about 5/8 of an inch from the granite. Still plenty of space to open the drawers, obviously. But it is a little high, and it's 4.5 inches off the ground. So we obviously need shelves in our upper cabinets. We're gonna do this in the next video where I do a whole organizing our kitchen. So stay tuned for that. But for now, we have doors that are ready to be installed. Much easier to install cabinet doors instead of drawer fronts. Those are trickier. I feel like the hardest part of the cabinet doors when you're alone, when you're by yourself, is just it's like you need a third hand. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna use my knee so that I can hold it into place until I get the first screw in. Ta-da! It's really easy. You just use 2 screws and it's in. It's just about getting the first one is obviously the easiest. Now the second one has to mirror that. And what I like about these hinges is that there's a lot of adjustments that you can do to them. You can make them come out a little bit or up a little bit or in a little bit this way, this way. You really have some play. Hardware for our kitchen is all secondhand. I have found them all except the ones from, I take that back, except for the ones from the refrigerator because they were really long. I ordered those. They were handmade. I found them on Etsy. Everything else is all secondhand. I have found bags of hardware from estate sales. $3. You see that? $3. A whole bag. And I think I got 2 bags, so it may have been total $6. I think they were $3 a bag. A whole bag of different brass hardware. So we have this version, really pretty. We have the bullseye version that I really love. We have this one that is really pretty. So those were the 3 kind of rounded. And then in the bag, there were 2 of these. See, they're like longer bars. So I used these 2 for the spice racks on each side of the oven because there would be some like symmetry and balance there. So I already installed, look how good that looks. Love. I went to an estate sale a few days ago and found this. More hardware, lots of hardware. Now these were more, and there was also more in these. I've pulled out and they're laying around the kitchen. But I found this bag, 2 bags of them actually. And if you guys haven't seen that video, I took you guys estate sale shopping with me, and you came with me when I found these. They're crackle ceramic and brass. They're so pretty. Now you can find these new. I don't know how, these don't look new. I don't know how new or old these are, but they are secondhand. They were at an estate sale. Whole bag. For this bag, big bag was 15 and this bag was 12. I bought them all because you never know what projects I want to use them for. And we're going to be using, oh my gosh. We're going to be using these for the upper cabinets. So you can kind of get an idea. That's what they're gonna look like. Can you tell? Let me put two. So you can really, well, we're about to install them, but I'm really excited. So now we just have to get the right placement. I think wish you guys were here so you could hold this for me so I could step back and look. Kinsley, can you jump up here? I'm going with my gut. I'm going not in line, but a little up from that. I put blue tape so that the wood doesn't splinter around the hole I'm about to make. We're going 4 inches up. Oh, love. I am obsessed with this. I just can't believe this kitchen's starting to be done. You guys, what a big project. Love. I love that with the color of the cabinets. Estate sales coming for the win. I have a lot more cabinets to install. I'm trying not to jinx it. A drawer. So for the trash can, built-in hidden trash can, and also on each side of the oven, I have 2 spice racks that I kind of designed into the kitchen design. And there's a company called RENOVATION. It's pretty much the only company I've found online that sells the inserts. I just think with everything that we've DIY'd in this kitchen, that I just didn't want to do the inserts as well. So it's a double container. I got the champagne color. I kind of thought that it went with the kitchen. We'll have one for recycling and one for regular trash. And it comes with all of the stuff to kind of figure out how to install it. Oh, it screws into the bottom. Okay, I see. Okay. part 2 is gonna be the last part of the final of the final kitchen makeover. You guys, it's a new day. It has actually been a whole day of me just installing the rest of the drawer fronts. This was a big project to bite off and chew in a week and a half. There are still things that need to be built and tweaked, but I'm choosing to lead with progress over completion again. I feel like you just have to in a renovation. Kitchens are the biggest thing to accomplish. All of the back wall and the island is complete. Complete. Now there are some caulking things that I need to do up there on the crown molding. There are just some like spacing things that I want to further perfect, but I need to step away from it to really like, okay, now let me make this section perfect and that section perfect. And also this whole upper cabinet still needs to be built. I made all the cabinet doors for it. They have the glass in them, they're trimmed out, they're ready to go because I wanted to get all of the doors done, but it still needs to be built. And I think my muscles are just really fatigued. I'm so sore that when I got to nearing the end of putting all of these up and painting them all and doing all of the work, anything that I had to do that was really heavy that I had to lift got a lot harder. So I think I'm just to the point where I'm fatigued. So that and the crown molding, I painted it all. We just need to install it. It's really hard to do by yourself. It's almost impossible because they're so long. So those are things that we're going to do in, yes, another episode. But what I thought would be cool is to actually do that cabinet, finish the crown molding, do all the finishes, and also do a kind of extreme kitchen organization type video. This cabinet over here is going to be absolutely beautiful. It's all glass. So I've got my pretty glasses that we can, display in them. I have lighting to go in there so that it's all lit. Some really pretty canisters that we'll eventually put into the pantry for like flour, pasta, sugar, things like that. Look how pretty they are. Found them on Amazon. And I also ordered spice containers, just so that you guys can see kind of what I'm planning to go in our spice racks. It was super easy to install. It was ready to go. It's perfection. There's nothing I needed to tweak on it. And then we'll have all of our spices. So I hope you guys are excited about that episode too. And that really will be the finish. So I'm gonna take a break for a while, probably sleep for a week, and then we'll dive back into it when I get back after some other projects at our California house. So it's really excited. I just need to step away. So let's decorate. I want to move the dining room table and things back in here, and I have a few things that I want to add, and we'll probably add some more in the next video too, and really finish the decorating stage. So let's bring the furniture back in. We don't need no man. Got this, you guys. I just put it on a towel. There's also a little space right here. You guys may have noticed it if you're as detail oriented as me. It's just a piece between the two sills. So I just need to cut a piece. It's on the list. It's stuff like that. This warmth being back in here after it being empty for so long when I was working on the kitchen and the floors, it's bringing that look back in that I wanted, because there's so much of this warmer gray from the pashmina, the kitchen cabinets, and then the black, the dark. It's bringing and tying in the warmth from the windows and the warm wood. I love this table so much. I also have this rug. This is actually a ruggable rug. I feel like these are great because you can wash them. I've read some comments that some people on the larger sides that you guys have problems with the corners turning up. I personally haven't experienced that. I've washed this one a couple of times actually. I haven't experienced that, but maybe because it's a smaller one, but I really like it. I love that it pairs really nicely with the pashmina color. So I've been thinking about art for the kitchen a lot. And I think I might have showed you in one of the videos or maybe over on my vlog channel. I got this beautiful, beautiful English setter oil painting from an estate sale. And I I'm obsessed with it. I've been thinking about the perfect place to put it, and I do love it in here. Is it weird to put dogs in your kitchen? I mean, my dog's always in my kitchen. And the sizing, the coloring, everything about it, and I love that they're looking in at the kitchen. So it would be, I was thinking here. Do we love that? Also have this one that I also got at an estate sale. It's more moody. I was actually thinking it might be pretty right next to you guys in the kind of dining room area. You'll see this wall when you walk in too. I mean, they both look great. So this is the side of the refrigerator. It's a wider cabinet, obviously, for our refrigerator than it is on the other side. So I felt like it was so empty. And I was thinking about if I had some like smaller little prints. I got these at the thrift store for $3 a piece. They were $6, but I know they were half off, I remember, in the boutique. They're little people, vintagey people. Girl and boy. And then this one I got at an estate sale, a beautiful frame, but it had a bird in it, a toucan maybe. So I got one of my mom's art printed for it. Oh, that's gonna look so pretty. My pendant lights. Hey. So she also helped me tremendously last night and stained the rest of these stools. It kind of helps to bring some warmth onto this side of the island. So I really like these here.
Darling, I know it's hard to let go. Soon I will hold you again. Longer days when I'm away, but we'll both pretend to be bold. Darling, I've never been bold. Flowers you brought my stomach in knots, but you never seem to be scared. My heart's on pause whenever you're gone, but one day we'll go anywhere. Darling, I've never been there.
I hope you guys enjoyed our almost final episode of the kitchen renovation. It has been a long time coming. It's been a lot of projects, a lot of DIYs that needed to go into this space, from transforming it from an old bathroom into the space that it is now, including the dining room and the back door area. So we will have that next episode where we do some organization, we finish off that side, and just make lots of progress. But she's pretty, and she's really, you can really see the vision come to life now. Really, what do you think, Mom? You think it's pretty?
I love it.
She loves it. She wants it.
I will
She
have
tell
it.
she she tells me constantly she wants to buy the cottage for me. I'm like, well, I like it. I will see you guys again next Sunday for, I don't know, I'm gonna sleep for a week. Then we'll figure out if I'm gonna tackle another project within the next week. But I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Catch me on the vlog channel as well to stay up to date on all things behind the scenes. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye, guys. That could have been a disaster.